beautiful manifestors. Brenna here, your human design HBIC and reader of 9 years. I have popped up a little manifestor chart on the screen here. We're going to take a little bit of a deep dive in a quickie style fashion to learn more about your energy type and three of the things that I wish that more manifestors knew, grounding you in the basics, but also getting you a little bit ahead of the curve when it comes to understanding your design. So without further ado, let's get into it. So being a manifestor, one of the most important things for you to understand and decide how to use your strategy is to really understand exactly what it means to inform. So it's interesting in kind of this special sweet spot when it comes to manifestors who automatically hear, well, I have to inform, but I don't want to tell people all of my plans before I've actually taken action on them. And this is where you have to use your discernment to decide, well, if I'm taking action on this thing, who is it going to impact? I don't want to have to go out and say to all my friends and all my family what I'm going to be doing for a career change if it doesn't actually impact their wallets, their living situation, their bank account, their energy, what have you, right? Informing your spouse if you're in a relationship, right? Your partner, your children, focusing on the people that your decisions are actually going to affect in a negative, positive, or just any sort of intensely impactful sort of way is really important. Informing people of who you are when you walk into a room. Your energy speaks for itself before your name even comes out of your mouth. So people are going to pay attention to you, right? Whether or not you may be a little bit more docile. Sometimes manifestors have been trained to be a little bit of a wallflower, or you're a little bit more of a boisterous character. People are going to feel your energetics because you have what's called a strong and repelling aura, which we'll talk about a little bit later in this video. So informing people, right? I've had people that have come into my TikTok lives that I know are manifestors because it feels like they've energetically kind of kicked down the door to this room of this party that we were having. And we're like, oh, okay, you're here, right? Like, who are you? What are you about? And they start, jiving and talking to people and taking drinks out of our wine glasses, what have you, right? But we don't even know what their name is. And I have a lot of grace for this because I've been doing this for so many years that I know the energy very quickly. Also Pisces, and I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart, but it would go over so much better and they would build a community or have influence on the people that they were looking to influence if they built a little bit of rapport and etiquette for how to inform properly. So if you are a manifestor watching this video, or if you know manifestors in your life, some helpful tips on how they can get more, I think more bees with honey is the saying potentially along those lines, right? Schmoozing a little bit, having social graces and social pleasantries, informing people that they're meant to inform when things are going to have the biggest impact on those closest to them by the decisions that they make is incredibly important. Now, on the flip side, when manifestors don't feel like they are informed enough, this leads me to step number 2, especially looking at your authority versus your strategy for the type of manifestor that you are, emotional manifestor, etc., right? So when you are a manifestor that needs information, is supposed to give information, I should say, you also are going to need information in return. So as a manifestor, getting completely clear on what your values are, what you value, the things that you know make you feel secure when you're about to join another, job venture, or maybe get into a relationship. What are some questions that you can ask to get more information out of the invitation that you may be receiving from somebody else, energetically or literally, metaphorically, etc., right? So really taking stock and understanding what you value, what your strong aura wants to carry through on or to enact on in this world. Really important for you to do a values exercise, get very clear on what your values are on or what they surround, and really have that as a kind of guide to make sure that you are asking people of the right questions and make sure that you are getting as much information as you are giving, finding that kind of balance for you to make helpful, aligned decisions for your energy type. Last but not least, for those of you who have followed me for a while, I always say this when it comes to my manifestors, you have to adopt a not my circus, not my monkeys philosophy in life. People either like you or they don't, right? There are manifestors that have come into my life. I love them, right? There's about 5, 6 of them that I have very close to me as mentees right now. I have a beautiful group of manifestors in my Patreon, one of whom's chart we're using as an example right now. But with that in mind, you have to understand that there are manifestors also that I may not like, that are not in my aura. They're not my people. And I don't see them as bad people. I just say we're not in alignment, right? Our energies are just very different. And that's okay, right? I can have respect for them and they can be them, but away from me. And not taking that personally as a manifestor is one of the biggest things that you can do to remove any extra baggage out of your aura. It's not my job to convince people to understand me if they're committed to misunderstanding understanding me. They can be them as well away from me. I don't need them in my orbit. And that's totally okay. And that is such a freeing place to be when you could say, hey, not my circus, not my monkeys. These are not the type of people that I'm interested in helping and informing and leading and guiding and inspiring, right? To infuse with my boisterous energy, giving them some of that motorized energy to get to pour into those people, right? You want to make sure you're pouring into the right people, the right clients, the right family members, the right friends, and not using or not feeling overwhelmed where maybe some of the people that you thought were your people that you are blood related to, right? Friends that you've had for years, maybe you start to outgrow and evolve them over time, right? It's not like you have to dig your claws into the people that you find, at one point in your life and stay with them forever. Everyone's going to evolve and change if we're doing it right, right? And living in this life as humans, evolving, changing, learning more things, growing, metamorphosizing. Again, not my circus, not my monkeys is going to be the best tip for you to adopt to just feel much lighter and to give yourself grace for knowing that like you have that built-in buffer where there's going to be people you're even too strong for, you're going to naturally repel them. You don't have to worry about it, right? But keeping your aura strong, making sure you're being authentic for you, having a list of values, the things that you value, and forming the right people. All really great things for manifestors to take note of. So if you are a manifestor and you're looking for support, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any manifestors in your life that you're having trouble understanding, and maybe one of the other 4 energy types, you can also leave a comment. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so we can get the word out about the human design experiment and help catch others up to speed a lot more quickly, because the more that we infuse this experiment into real life, the easier and more effective working together as a holistic community on Earth is going to be, raising the vibration of the world. So thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and commenting, and I will see you guys very soon.